Welcome back to the DuckBoats podcast. My name is Brett Newman. To my right is Logan Miller. To his right is Matthew Clayman. This is episode 3. We are back. It is a new week. Let's go. So, a lot of Patriots news happened in the past week or so, and we are going to get in depth with it. Vrabel was hired. What are we doing with the rest of the team? We'll talk about it. Wildcard weekend was underwhelming, but we're going to see what our thoughts were and how our predictions, Logan, went. Then we're just going to talk about other stuff. And mostly football talk is going to be coming today, but it's very exciting stuff. So stay tuned. Matt, you want to take us through what we're going to talk about today?
Okay, well, Brett, you pretty much already took us through what we're talking.
You just ran down.
All right. Well, we're going to cut that out. All right, we're going to cut that
out.
No,
it's fine. No, we can just.
Okay, no, because that was like the best. That was like the best intro. Like,
yeah, no, you're fine. You're fine. All right.
Enough.
All right. Mike Vrabel has been hired to be the next head coach of the New England Patriots. So we're going to talk about our thoughts, where to go from here, and then we're going to dive into some of our thoughts from the press conference. We'll start with our thoughts on the hire, just so we're not going at everything at once. Who wants to go first with their thoughts on the Mike Vrabel hiring?
I can go.
I'll go. Okay.
All right.
It's all right. We can go right after each other.
That's
Okay.
Matt, you go.
So from this process at the beginning, I believe we really had truly two candidates in Ben Johnson and Mike Vrabel, with Vrabel being the overwhelming candidate. I think most of the reporters early on knew that it was most likely going to be him. And so we were going into this process, just wondering, really more a matter of when and not if, because I think we all kind of saw it coming. But, immediately thoughts on the hire, it's
Dude, just keep going.
You're going blurry on.
My camera sucks.
Yeah, it's okay. He provides stability and leadership, which this organization has been missing for a few years now. With Gerard Mayo and Belichick at the end was not the best situation. So I think he provides the stability, the leadership. I think he's gonna, do what he can at least to get this organization back on track, and then, help try and guide them back to success somehow, sooner rather than later, hopefully.
All right, my turn. All right, so my thoughts on it, were I expected it, like I think pretty much every other Patriots fan expected it, because they were even talking about a chance of Mike Vrabel coming to New England week 17 before the season even ended. There were not even reports that Mayo was getting fired after the season, too, with that. So once I saw all that, I was like, oh, all right. And then the fact that we're only like a week into the Patriots offseason and he's already the head coach, I think it says something that the Crafts wanted it and that he wanted it. And they wanted to get it done. But I think it's perfect. It's what the team needs. It's obviously a huge upgrade over Mayo. And I think we're going to see a more competitive team. It might not be good record-wise, but we're going to see, I believe, a competitive team, because I believe the team that we had last year, they were bad, but they also weren't even competitive. We might be bad next year, but I think we'll be a competing team at the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I love the move. You guys already know my opinions on some other candidate.
Yeah. Brian Flores.
All right, I'm muted by accident.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, I was confused.
Yeah, so we already know my opinions on some other candidates. So obviously, we kind of knew that Vrabel was going to be the one hired. And, like Matt said, the leadership's there. This guy already has the experience, which is one thing we were kind of looking, at least I was looking for, because he's already, taken a team that wasn't great with the Titans and, brought him to the AFC Championship. So now he actually has a pretty good foundation to start with here. All the cap space he has, all the money, which is cap space, the QB, and he has kind of full reign over the coaching staff. So he can really make this how he wants it to be. And I think that as long as Kraft gives him the availability to pick who he wants to pick and get the players he wants, that he can definitely turn this around. I mean, obviously, a one-year rebuild is very unlikely, so I'm not really looking forward to that. But I am looking forward to at least a better record and more competitiveness, like you said, Logan, as we kind of go through these next couple of seasons. And maybe, 2-3 years down the line, we'll be back in the playoffs, or maybe even making a deep run. Who knows? But I could see that being a real possibility with him. With last year with Mayo, I just didn't really have the idea that could be possible. With Vrabel, it definitely is because we've already seen it.
So when I was making my TikTok videos going over everything, there are people already saying that we'll be like 7-10, 10-7 next year. We gotta pump the brakes a little bit. Like Mike Vrabel was a home run hire, but the talent is still not good. The talent it's still not there. But that's getting a little off track. Brett, do you want to start us off from like where do we go now from here? We got the head coach, but where do we go?
So, all right, you have a offensive coordinator opening, you have a defensive coordinator opening. You got to get Josh McDaniels, familiar face.
Hey, we'll go over candidates later.
You said where do we go from here? That's where we go from here.
Just talk about just in general, where do we go?
All right, so you use a lot of the cap, and get good players, focus on offensive line, whether that's in the draft or, free agency, but that's probably the most important thing because the defense is good. The dude running it had no idea what he was doing, which causes the issues.
Covington,
in my opinion, no clue what he was going on in that.
Very inexperienced.
Well, that was pretty much the whole coaching staff had no experience. Yeah. Well, I think Vrabel will bring in a coaching staff that has experience.
I agree, and with that, I kind of feel like from there, with the talent they can get in free agency and the draft, they'll be able to really put something together, or at least to show some sort of improvement and put some talent maybe around Drake May. We kind of talked about free agency last time, but, T. Higgins is out there, and I think you just kind of give him whatever he wants. I mean, that's a guy you can overpay for, Like, he still has a lot of room for development.
You can and you should overpay for.
Yes, and he has a lot of room for development still. He's young, kind of, and he's just, got to go do his thing. And he can really become a star in this league as a wide receiver one because right now he's under Jamar Chase, which is fine. But if you give him the availability to be a wide receiver one, I think that he could really do something. And with him, with Drake May, I think they could be a really powerful duo. And then in free agency, go offensive line. I don't really have anybody in mind specifically, but I mean, there's a couple decent linemen out there that can definitely improve the offensive line, and that's something that you're going to need to put around him because, Drake May already got hurt twice last season because of how bad his offensive line was. I mean, maybe once it was his fault, but even then, it wasn't like terrible. But you risk that with a young guy like him, and you're setting yourself up for failure. So you really kind of just need to get the offensive line right and then just put some talent around him, and otherwise you'll be all right next season, honestly.
I'll go. Well, so now we have the head coach. Now Vrabel's going to have to bring in a staff, but I think most people are really going to be paying attention who they get for an offensive coordinator, and we'll get into the candidates. We'll get into some candidates that we think. Of course, we're not running a football operation. It'll just be candidates that we think. We'll get into all that later, though. But I completely trust Vrabel to pick a experienced staff. I think there won't be any issue with that. Like, whoever he chooses to be his offensive coordinator, his defensive coordinator will have some sort of experience. And then after they get a staff, they have to go crazy in free agency. They have to go on a spending spree. They have the most cap space in the NFL. They got to get spending as soon as tampering is done. As soon as the free agency window opens, they have to go crazy. They have to have a good draft. They have to nail that 4th overall pick. Please get Abdul Carter. For the love of God, please get Abdul Carter.
4th pick?
With the yes.
Okay.
I can get more into him later if we have time. But it's more important that we start by building from free agency. Get those culture builders from free agency. And that's all I have for that.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably echo a lot of what you guys said. They need to spend their money, spend it wisely also, because what happens when you just start throwing money at people, it sometimes doesn't work out exactly how you want it to. But they need to spend the money. They have plenty of it. There's really no excuse this offseason. You have to fix this team and give Vrabel a lot more to work with. And then obviously we're going to talk about the coordinator situation, all that, coaching staff. You would think it's going to be a lot more prepared staff, a lot more experience on the staff. And, that's a part of it. You can bring in all the players you want, but if the coaching is a mess, those teams usually don't succeed well in the playoffs. So, it should be an interesting offseason. We'll see what happens coming up in the next few weeks. And then, obviously, as free agency starts later on. But I like the position they're at now. Still a lot of work to do, but we'll see how it goes.
And then he had his press conference yesterday at noon. And honestly, I think the press conference yesterday was just a lot of things that Patriots fans just need to hear. It seems like he has a clear vision on what he wants to do with the franchise. And I love how he addressed the offensive line issue and that they need to start by building it strong up front and protecting Drake May. When I heard that, I was like, this is everything that we need to hear. But then again, he has to go out there and prove it. And then and when I say he has a clear vision on what he wants to do. Now this could just be introductory head coach talk. But when the exact quote when he said, "Our goals will be to win the AFC East, to host playoff games, and compete for championships." Now, the AFC East part, that's a little bit of a stretch because we still have Buffalo and Josh Allen in this division. So as long as those two things are together, it will be hard to win the AFC East. But again, it seems like it seems like there's going to be a good culture that's going to be set with this team. When he was asked about the offense, he said that he wants an aggressive but not reckless offense with creativity. And I think that's a perfect offense to run. That's everything you need because Drake May can provide you that. He can bring you some splash plays, but he can get reckless, and that's, I think, what needs to be toned down with his game. And I think that if that's something that Mike Vrabel wants to implement in the type of offense he wants to run, then that could also be good for the offense alone, but also for Drake May, because that was the issue with him, is that he had those splash plays, but he would have those clumsy turnovers. That's
right,
all.
you can go ahead.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, every rookie makes those clumsy mistakes and stupid turnovers here and there. I mean, if we look back at his debut, he threw the ball right to the Texans. I mean, second drive out there. I mean, you see that early on before even throwing anything good, and you think maybe we screwed up here. Muted again. This thing is really annoying. Anyways, we got it. So, with that, I mean, yeah, he had plenty of questionable turnovers, but that just comes with being a rookie in general, I feel. And there's obviously the rare times where that doesn't happen, but most of the time it does. So, I think it's just important to stay patient with him right now, only because if we just jump to him being he has too many, dumb turnovers, and they're just putting him in a bad place and, lowering his confidence. And now, I mean, if those issues do continue, a year, 2 years down the line, then we have something to talk about. But right now, I'm not worried about it because, he's still young. And even then, he had besides those turnovers, he showed that he can be very good. And now, I mean, with talent, because a lot of his interceptions weren't his fault.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they just bounced off the receiver's hands, and that just comes down to who you have around him. So, I mean,
yeah.
With the amount of cap space they have, again, free agency, and just get some talent, and they'll be good to go. Honestly, I think Drake May can really break out next year, and eventually, I know everyone's saying this, but become a top 5 quarterback at some point in his career.
Yeah, and I liked obviously when he talked about Drake May and the precedent he placed on protecting him and giving him the proper weapons, as most people would say, as to help support the young quarterback, which is really what you can take advantage of when he's on that rookie deal, having the ability to put things around him. But just a couple things that stuck out besides that. I like the part where he was talking about how it was important for him to go somewhere else to start his coaching journey, not with the Patriots. I think that was a very important piece because the fans that were critical of him, the Ben Johnson truthers out there,
it's just another Bill guy.
Just another Bill guy, just another Patriots guy, former player. Here he comes. It's gonna be the same old, same old. So I like that he talked about that and talking about forging his own path and now coming back. Once the opportunity and the time was right. So that was something I like to hear. The part where he said we're going to remove entitlement from our football team, we're going to earn the right to be here every day, something like that. Because I think things this year got a little bit off track. I remember at the beginning of the season that video came out of players riding bicycles in the locker room.
Yeah.
And just players like Polk and Baker go on talking on social media, talking all this stuff, and really feel like it was not together down there with the whole operation, and it wasn't tight-lipped down there. And I think he's gonna fix things on that extent. He means business, and I think we could see that from all the things he talked about. Something I did find interesting was that it was a ton of Elliot Wolf references in this presser. I don't know what you guys thought about this, but
I
it felt a little bit over the top. I don't know.
So I think, and actually, a report just came out with Schefter on. So Schefter says that Elliot Wolf will keep his role, but will answer to Mike Vrabel. He's staying in his job, whatever that is. Rabes is the man. And so this is pretty much what I thought. And I think
That sounds better. Yep.
I think a part of this is Mike Vrabel has a lot of control. He has a lot of control. And there was another quote yesterday that came out. Did you see the thing where he was talking to Tom Curran?
Yep.
And he was it basically seems like this is Elliot's, like, he has to prove that he can have an impact on this organization to Vrabel.
Like you should.
Which, whether that's through free agency in the draft, it seems like he has to prove that he can get good players to Vrabel. That's what it looks like. But also, another few quotes is, we all know that Mike Vrabel has a connection with A.J. Brown. And of course, there are going to be Patriots fans that come up with the hypothetical trades with A.J. Brown coming to second round pick. Who says no? All that type of stuff. Mike Vrabel was asked about A.J. Brown this morning, actually. And he said, yeah, we'll see. I'm proud of his development, his personal development, and working on himself. He's a passionate player. I love him to death. And I have a very, very close relationship with him. So I don't think that's
I'd like to hear it.
off. I don't think that would be off the table. Who also knows what happens if the Eagles lose next week in the divisional round? Who knows what will happen? A.J. Brown might go crazy and all that. And then another thing, Mike Vrabel this morning says the Patriots must surround Drake May with players that this is talking about wide receivers. Exactly. Have great catch radius, can make contested catches in the red zone, are tough tackles, are able to make explosive plays with short passes. That's literally A.J. Brown. That's A.J. Brown and T. Higgins. That's literally that's when I saw this tweet, that was the first thing that popped into my mind. That is A.J. Brown and T. Higgins. And you have the chance to at least sign one of them in free agency. But then again, who knows what could happen, and that's something. But first, we have to get through the coaching staff and who our offensive and defensive coordinators are, and we can go down a list on what we think our offensive and defensive coordinators are. Who would want to start? I have a pretty long list if we want to get mine over with. Oh, you want to?
I got one more thing, just right before this, real quick. When we talked about the Elliot Wolf thing with Curran, he also said, I think this is a quote from me. He said, having talked to Elliot, there were some things that maybe didn't allow him to completely invest in personnel. And I don't know, this is kind of a theme that we've been hearing from the Elliot Wolf camp, I feel like, is, this is talking about, we don't know if it's money or, the time to invest or something like that. We heard from, I believe it was Mayo earlier that, no, it wasn't Mayo. There was a quote earlier that Elliot Wolf did, like, expected more internal growth or something like that. I just feel like there's some serious excuse making from Elliot Wolf, and he definitely has a lot to prove. And I'm glad to hear that he'll have to, report to Vrabel and all that. But yeah, that's just something to keep note of. But go ahead, you can. Yeah,
we good?
We're good.
Yeah. So that was the exact quote of what I was just talking about, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, Vrabel Vrabel 100% has a lot of control, and he probably has final say on draft night, honestly.
Hopefully.
And then also, depending on how everything goes, Ryan Cowden is a part of the Patriots front office now. So depending on how everything goes, Elliott might get pushed to the curb after the draft. Everyone's been saying that's what happened to Bill Greer. Bill's first year with the Patriots, that Bill Greer was the GM before, and then after the draft they just got rid of him. And that's something that could happen with Elliott Wolf, but only time will tell. But now, before we can get into free agency or anything like that, we have to go over offensive and defensive coordinator candidates. This is just who we think that the Patriots should talk to, interview through the process. Of course, we don't run a football operation, so there's a chance that some of these names might not even get mentioned into that discussion at all. But I don't know how many. I have a pretty big list and good explanation for each. If you want me to just get mine over with,
you can just go ahead.
So first name is Clint Kubiak for me. He's currently the Saints offensive coordinator. Dennis Allen is out, and they've already interviewed other candidates to be their offensive, Clint Kubiak has gone out and interviewed for other vacancies. I think with the Browns yesterday, he interviewed for their opening. And that's another name that we could bring in an interview. We would have to buy out his contract. I don't know if that's something the Crafts would do. Probably not. But Kubiak is definitely a name to throw out. He has experience working with quarterbacks in the past too, so that's also something important. And then I'm sure you guys probably have this name and probably every other Patriots fan does. Josh McDaniels, pretty obvious. He's probably the top candidate, and honestly, the person that might most likely be the guy to run the offense next year. He doesn't run the West Coast offense that Alex Van Pelt ran, and people for some reason think Drake May would have a hard time learning that offense, but because I guess Josh's offense is complicated. But a perfect example of that is when we had Cam Newton during that whole year. The offense completely changed, and they tailored it to Cam Newton. Now, the offense wasn't good, but that's also because you have Cam Newton who wasn't able to throw the ball. So, but that year, Josh McDaniels proved that he can change the offense and tailor it to the quarterback's strength. And I think that addresses that part about Josh McDaniels. But another name, Josh McCown, currently the Vikings quarterbacks coach. He has familiarity with Drake May. He coached him in high school, and I think since his familiarity with Drake May, that's a guy you should take a look at. And honestly, you can interview him today if you wanted to. The Vikings are out of the playoffs. You can interview him now if you wanted to. You can request to interview him today. Another guy, you guys might have this name too. It's been a pretty popular name. Tommy Rees, the passing game specialist and tight end coach for the Browns. Mike Vrabel was just with him this past year. He played quarterback at Notre Dame from 2010 to 2013. This would just be another candidate that you could go out and interview. And honestly, if he might be even one of those like higher ceiling candidates because he's a younger guy, he might have the higher ceiling candidate. I would compare it to Josh being like the safe one that you just did with Vrabel. Vrabel was being the safe hire to Ben Johnson. I see the same thing with Tommy Rees being the higher ceiling hire and McDaniels being the safe hire because McDaniels is a really good coordinator. And then the last name that the Patriots should interview, who should at least give an interview, is Alex Van Pelt, the current Patriots offensive coordinator. Mainly just to get his insight on what worked well with Drake. I think that's important to take into account. Like, what did he do well with Drake and what worked with him? And then honestly, you can kick him to the curb after that. Like, you can do that. Or it's just, even if he wants to swallow his pride and become a QB coach, he won't do that, but again, I think getting his insight and I guess maybe hearing on what he would do differently to coordinate a better offense. But I pretty much, with my list of candidates, I tailored it to coordinators that have experience coaching QBs, because that's important, because we have a second-year quarterback, and you want a coordinator that is willing to work with the quarterback. And that was the positive about Van Pelt this past year. And we saw it with Drake May and how much he improved during the season. And I think with these candidates that I listed, that would be good for Drake May, because they have experience working with a quarterback.
Matt,
All
you
right,
got
I'll
that.
go. I'll go ahead.
We'll start with offensive coordinators, then we'll go to defensive coordinators after.
Cool.
Yeah. So first of all, I'm glad that you brought some of those names to the table because we didn't. That's not people that you might think of first off because they haven't been talked about really. Which I went with more of the people that we've heard something about. So Josh McDaniels first off. People are already asking Vrabel about his thoughts on McDaniels. I think there's an interview on WEI, and they asked about him, and he said, "I'm going to look at every possible candidate," which is good to hear. As we want a full process. He said, "There's a long list. I've had a relationship with Josh, so I'm sure he will be
Andrew
in the mix."
Callahan tweet?
Yes,
Okay.
that's I want to give credit to Andrew Callahan.
No, because
yeah,
I forgot to mention that tweet. So
he'll
thank you
definitely
for
be in the
mentioning
mix.
it.
Yeah, of course. If not the favorite. So, there's your first option. Patriots fans are familiar with him, I don't think. And, I was going to make that exact comparison when you said it's more of the safe option. You could go with what you already know, which we know he's a good coordinator and all that. And then the other guy I had was Tommy Rees, which you talked about, who, again, was the pass game specialist and Titans coach with the Browns. And, he might be more innovative. He worked at Notre Dame for 6 years, Alabama in 2023 as OC. And, again, he represents a potential for more innovative option. There's more unknown about how he will do at the NFL level. So again, he's more of a potential option.
And also Tommy Rees, that would be West Coast offense, which Drake May is already used to.
That's correct. So, there's two ways you can go with this one, and I think it'll be interesting to see what they value. I think right now McDaniels is probably a little bit of ahead, but we'll see with the interview process how that goes. But those are my real two that I have right now. If Brett, you want to go ahead?
So I kind of have a lot of the exact same things you guys just said, almost down to a T.
Yep.
Josh McDaniels, fan favorite. I mean, he's already been here. He's already done that. Everyone's very familiar with him. I like Josh McCown. I think that he could bring some creativity to the offense. Give him a chance as an offensive coordinator, see what he can do. And then Tommy Rees, like Logan said, West Coast offense. See what he could do. But honestly, I really haven't done any research on the other two besides Josh McDaniels. I just really like Josh McDaniels in this case. He's just my guy. I've always loved him. Every time he comes back, I'm never mad about it. I just like Josh McDaniels here. And to me, he's the one option that we know what's going to happen. And we know how it's going to be ran. So also, if it were me, I'm going Josh McDaniels, but that's just me, though.
If the Patriots are interested, too, in Tommy Rees as offensive coordinator, Texas wide receiver Isaiah Bond declared for the draft, and Bond played for Rees when he was the offensive coordinator in Bama last year. So that's something that they could, throughout, if they bring him in, and then throughout the draft process, that could be something that could be mentioned throughout. Okay, now defensive coordinators. This is kind of not as a big list or anything. And there's probably a slim chance that they can even get some of these candidates. And I kind of just threw out some names that are definitely not even that good, but it's just names.
I have breaking news. Hold on. The Browns are promoting Tommy Rees to offensive coordinator, so he's out.
Wow!
Oh.
Wow! Wow! So that's off the table.
Oh, dang it! I gotta freaking delete my doc now. This is.
Wow, that would have. All right.
All right. Well, there goes
that could have been. Wow. All right. That would have been a good name for us.
I'm surprised you guys didn't hear about that. This is my first time breaking news. This is great.
Yeah. No.
I thought you guys already know.
I'm glad we got that discussion.
Well, no, because I was about to list off my defensive coordinators. I didn't. Wow. So Tommy Rees is out.
Yes.
Okay, so if Tommy Reese is out, then it's gonna be McDaniels.
McDaniels.
Dude, do you
I-
think Stefanski did that as, oh, Vrabel's gonna try and get this guy? Do you think?
I don't know. I
There may
think
be
it's
a
kind of
chance of that.
bitter. I could see it if it was like in the division or something, but
Doesn't
They
Stefanski
might just
call
really
the
like him. Who
plays
knows?
there? Doesn't Stefanski call the plays there
Yeah.
though? So
Yeah, he does.
he's already kind of doing that. Yeah.
I mean, but who was their coordinator last year who they just fired? He was on the Bills too, and he was horrible. I don't know. And now they have the guy that they have now, who is so much better. All right. Okay, yeah. So Tommy Reese is off the table for the Patriots. Wow.
How about that?
So that would have been a good name. So honestly, it's probably gonna be McDaniels, if that's the case. Then
Unless it's just someone random that nobody's thinking about. But
yeah, like maybe
I don't know.
McCown, maybe Josh McCown, and then honestly, Van Pelt might get an interview. Honestly,
He's gonna get an interview, but
He's
they
gonna-
better not hire him back.
yeah. He
I think
probably
him bringing back as like not the OC. I'd be fine with that. But he wasn't terrible. I just don't want him as the coordinator.
he would have to
He was
swallow
good with Drake
so
May. He
much
developed Drake
pride.
May.
He would have to swallow so much pride and take like a quarterback's coach job. I don't think he would do that. But yeah, I think my top candidates then would be McCown and McDaniels. And okay, it's gonna be McDaniels probably, but so now for my defensive coordinators, again, I was kind of just spitballing here, and I have a name that you guys will probably not like at all. Well, I'll just get that over with. DeMarcus Covington, give him the interview. He hopefully will not get the job, but just give him the interview. Like, see what he thinks and all that. Second name, I would be shocked if the Patriots get this guy, but if I was running things, I would give him an interview. Lou Anarumo, he was the Bengals defensive coordinator. A few years ago when they actually had talent on the Bengals, that was a top defense in the league. Brett, I don't know why you're smirking. Why are you
The
smirking?
way you said his name really got me going today.
That's how you
I've never-
say it.
I know it is.
I researched it
It's
too.
true, just
Because, dude, I knew there was a chance I would say it wrong. Okay, I knew there was a chance I would say it wrong.
you just spit it out. and
Yeah, I know,
never
because I was
heard him
afraid I was
before.
gonna say it wrong. Because I literally practiced saying his name last night.
Wow, good job, Brett.
I've never even heard of him before, and this is the first I heard this dude's name, and that just
So-
caught me really off guard.
So okay. So good defensive mind. When the Bengals
warned us.
actually, he was not the problem with the Bengals defense this past year. They fired him after this season. When there was actual defensive pieces to work with on the defensive side of the ball a few seasons ago, they were a top defense in the league, and everyone was even saying that he was going to get head coaching interviews that same year. That was the year that the Bengals beat the Bills in the divisional round, actually.
Wasn't Covington supposed to interview for the Bengals DC job?
Yep. I don't know if he's done that yet.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if that's been reported, but I just knew he was supposed to. I don't know.
But with
That's interesting.
key players like Gonzo, Keon White, a healthy Christian Barmore, hopefully, and possibly drafting Abdul Carter, please, out of Penn State. It could turn out to be a solid hire. Because he wasn't the issue with the Bengals. And this name, it's already been confirmed that he's staying with the team that he's with right now. Shane Bowen, the Giants defensive coordinator. He probably would have been Vrabel's top choice to bring in for defensive coordinator, but the Giants said he's not going anywhere. Because he was Vrabel's defensive coordinator in Tennessee, I think, for most of his tenure, if not the whole tenure. And then now we're at the pretty much spitballing part of my list.
Yeah.
Patrick Graham, he's the Raiders defensive coordinator. His contract with the Raiders is done, and Antonio Pierce is gone as well. So he will probably go interview other places. He is on the older side for coordinators, so maybe you don't give him a look. But it's definitely worth giving an interview. The Raiders defense, it wasn't good, but it was like solid. They didn't have that much talent there either. But But he was also on the staff with the Patriots in the early 2010s. So if the Crafts want more familiarity with the staff as they usually do, Patrick Graham is a name. And then Chris Harris, he's the current Titans defensive pass coordinator. Vrabel hired him to be the defensive pass game coordinator in his final year in Tennessee. He stayed on with the Titans staff this year. He's one of the few staff members that stay with the Titans this year. And that's just another name we're familiar with, Vrabel. But yeah, that's it. The defensive coordinators were more spitballing, if anything.
Yep.
That's it.
All right.
You can go now.
Yep. Thank you.
There's always an issue with you guys.
Yeah, because Matt looks like he's ready to talk, and then I'm ready to talk, and then just go back and forth. Anyways, back to the list.
I would say speed round.
Robert Saleh.
Ooh.
I like him.
Okay.
I like him a lot.
That's a good one.
He's
And then
probably
the
going to
other
go
two-
back to San Fran, if anything.
Yeah, he already interviewed for the job, so I don't really have a top candidate right now. But
Not a lot of options.
if he was available, I would like him. I mean, he is available, but chances are you're not going to get him. But
Yeah.
Shane Bowen, but he's kind of already locked down. And then
Yep.
I also had Chris Harris. So kind of same thoughts you had, Logan. So I'm really not going to go and explain the whole thing again.
Yeah.
But because you kind of summarized it for me. So Matt, on to you.
So again, there has not been a lot reported about the defensive coordinator. There's been mostly thoughts about the OC, and we haven't talked too much about that. So, and again, I'm gonna be honest, I do not, know names that are out there that would be, great options. I feel like it's a lot of, meh. We'll see. We don't know if they're gonna do good. We know Covington is going to or has interviewed for the Bengals DC. You could assume he's gone. I'm going more for like the profile of the characteristics I want. They have to be experienced. I don't want any more first year guys on the defensive side.
That's why Anarumu was a guy for me.
Yeah, you don't want people right. Yeah,
How
you
you
need to
say
have
his
guys that
name.
know what they're doing, and you need to get this defense back to being one of the top in the league, because the offense is gonna need some time to work through things and get to where they want to be. So I think the defense is gonna be something you need to rely on, and so you need someone that knows what they're doing. And I do like Salah, so I guess that would be my first option. But that's where I'm at.
Also, a report just came in. Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson are expected to get head coaching interviews this cycle per Adam Schefter. That will get interesting. Quick off-topic discussion. That will get interesting. Like, next year, with Dan Campbell having to pick a new offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator,
Yeah,
that's, like, I wonder how that Lions team is going to look. Because he doesn't do anything. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does.
we'll see.
Oh, and the Texans just waived Deontay Johnson.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
A lot of news coming out.
Yeah. So, but we all gave our defensive coordinator. Wait, Matt, did you give your?
Yeah. I just went.
All right. Now we can go to the part where you guys can flame me. Our wild card thoughts.
Roll the clip.
I have the clip. I
think we need to listen to it again. Thank you.
Listen closely.
So wildcard thoughts. We'll go over our predictions, thoughts on the games, and then divisional predictions. We'll go through those one by one. So
Perfect.
Prediction recap. So technically, the Broncos and Bills game was the third, so we have to cover the Chargers, Texans, and Broncos Bills games first. Well, we'll do the we'll just do our recap from our predictions and then thoughts from the game and the same thing. And we'll take it game by game. So first, Chargers versus Texans. So I picked the Chargers to win this game, and this was a letdown from Herbert.
Yeah.
He just looked like a ghost.
Big choker.
He looked like a ghost out there. He threw more picks in one game than he threw that whole regular season. And now the question will be with Herbert, like, can he get it done in the postseason? He's 0-2, and in each game he was horrible. So
Yeah.
there's that.
Yeah, I'm leaning no on that. I don't know. I don't know. He's looking real, loser-ish in these so far in these playoff games. 4 picks is really just unacceptable.
Yeah.
And I think more people pick the Chargers than not. I think they thought, with Harbaugh, things are going to be different in the playoffs this season.
And especially with the Texans are banged up.
Yeah, they don't have Tank Dell. And yeah, I think that was a matchup they needed to take advantage of, and that was just quite frankly embarrassing. I didn't get to watch the whole game. I don't think any of us did. But
yeah, no, I didn't watch the fourth quarter. It was already bad.
Yeah. Really bad for them. So
I'm kind of just like a football whiz because I knew the Texans were going to win this one.
All right.
Now, Herbert 4 picks is a little questionable, but yeah, no, I picked the Texans on this one, and yeah, I didn't watch much of the game, so
yeah, it's hard for any of us to talk about it, but
there's not much to talk about.
All right,
Texans.
Yeah, there really isn't. Steelers Ravens. I picked the Ravens. I think.
Predictable.
Yeah, it's they curb stomped the Steelers. Like, there's honestly not that much to talk about. The Steelers had no chance of winning, and Lamar and Henry in the backfield is such a scary combo, like such a scary combo.
Yep.
I have something to say to the NFL about this. Why the hell are they putting playoff games on Amazon Prime? All right, I don't have Amazon Prime personally. So this is an issue for me because this was not on normal TV, okay? And I'm not paying to watch the Ravens and the Steelers. What the hell? I'm sorry. No, this really pissed me off the other night. This is the annual rant because here we go. What the?
I could tell it was coming. It was brewing.
Why? Like, just put it on CBS.
We don't need a rant. We don't need a rant.
Just call the game or something. This. Oh no. I'm really heated on this because the one game I actually wanted to watch. Okay.
Right, but Thursday Night Football has been on Prime all year.
And I haven't watched Thursday Night Football a single time unless it was with you in your dorm room, okay?
That's correct. You're welcome.
Thank you. The NFL really just ruined it. And I mean,
I'll just say,
okay. Yeah. It wasn't.
I feel like
final thoughts. Let's just put the playoff games on CBS, NBC, and Fox. Thank you.
I think we thought this was kind of a predictable situation with the Steelers going into Baltimore. I feel like we knew this was going to be a very...
You're already done ranting?
I cut him off.
I can continue if you'd like.
I thought that was going to be a long rant. I just went to go get food.
No.
It was slightly lengthy. Ooh, a snack sounds fire, but then the dog's going to start by. So I'll grab a snack later. Anyways, continue, Matthew. Continue.
Okay. Basically, I think this is kind of a predictable outcome for our Ravens Steelers. I think we kind of knew the Ravens were going to kill them, and this has been the same situation for the Steelers for years and years, where they, everybody starts to believe in them. They always end up over 500 somehow against all odds, and then they go in the playoffs and they get smacked when they go into a higher seed. And I don't know what you can really change there. They're kind of stuck in this place. We're just, middling to good, but they never really get anywhere. So I don't really know what you do with them, but for the Ravens,
they're a middle of the pack team.
So
they're a middle of the pack team.
That's what it feels like.
Now we're at the Broncos versus Bills.
Roll the clip.
I think we have a clip for that.
I think we have a clip about Logan's predictions here that we wanted to resurface real quickly here. Sounded.
Give me an upset over the Bills. Oh. Broncos beat the Bills.
That's
Broncos
accurate.
Beat the Bills. Bo Nix is gonna go into Buffalo and jump on some tables.
And jump.
Nix to upset. I'm feeling it. You know that feeling? You know that feeling when you know, like you just have that feeling that an upset is gonna happen.
Yeah.
I have that feeling right here.
Yeah.
Bo Nix and the Broncos are going to upset Buffalo. I have that feeling. I'm not just saying that because I'm a Patriots fan and all that.
I'm saying let's go Bills until they
because think about it. Everyone has all these expectations for the Bills and Josh Allen. What happens every time when people give expectations to the Bills? Someone tell me.
They lose the
Chiefs.
Yeah. Well,
that's
this time they're
correct.
going to lose to Bo Nix.
That did not happen.
Yeah. So
So let's get that apology going here.
yeah, I'm sorry, Buffalo. That was
Hey.
that was rude. That was rude of me to
Yeah.
pick against you guys. I'm
It
sorry.
was a take too early. It was too early. You can
So,
revisit
yeah.
that in a couple weeks.
If you couldn't tell, I picked the Broncos. After that first touchdown, everything just fell apart for them. Buffalo also curb stomped them. Josh Allen is a beast. Really,
Yep.
nothing else. I'm ashamed.
That it?
All right. Yeah.
I'm gonna eat your
It's okay.
snacks.
We all make mistakes sometimes.
That's how you come back. So you have a chance next with these next predictions. So
And we have a nice lineup.
let's go.
But
Hey,
Um,
you have any thoughts?
We
now?
good for the NFC now?
whoa. I just want to note that I went 4 for 6 in my predictions.
All right.
And I'm really
well,
happy about that.
All right.
And
I think we're
some of us use
6.
common sense to make our predictions.
Eagles versus
Yeah.
Packers.
I got the Eagles in that one. I didn't watch
I had
any of that.
Eagles
I
too.
actually watched barely any football this weekend, so I don't even really know what I'm talking about. All I know is the final scores. And the Eagles won. And I just had that feeling because I just didn't think that Jordan Love was ready to take on an Eagles team like that. And he wasn't. So
You got
Eagles.
bullied.
No, I picked the Eagles for that game.
I think we all did. Yep.
And it was like I said, Saquon has played too good this season to lose in the first round of the playoffs. And he, in fact, went off in the wildcard game. So, Eagles go. And then,
Fly, Eagles, fly.
fly, Eagles fly. Buccaneers versus Commanders. Probably the best game of
I had
wildcard
'em.
weekend.
Yeah, what a game.
Definitely, easily.
I took the Bucks, though. They
My
had
Commanders
it.
also.
They had it. They fumbled the game away. Literally fumbled the game away.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels, he's good at football. That's yeah.
Really good.
That's
really
it.
good.
That's it. That's all I got.
I also picked the Bucks, and that was a great game. And I
What a
thought
wow.
Baker Mayfield. I thought Baker Mayfield was just going to take it, but Jaden Daniels is very, very good quarterback, and like a lot of people say, he doesn't play like a rookie should. So,
He does play like a vet.
congrats to the Commanders on that. I hope they go far
I had
because
faith in 'em.
who hates on the Commanders? You know,
Mm-hmm.
Underdog.
very much.
That's what they are. I
Now,
believe in Jaden Daniels.
for the game that happened last night,
Huh.
Vikings versus Rams. I took the
Wow.
The
Vikings.
neutral side.
Now,
I think
I
all
have
could
an
taken
issue.
the
Did I take
Vikings.
Rams?
I have an issue
All right,
now.
here's Rand.
It's
Rand,
my
go to
turn.
I'm gonna go to
How are you supposed to go 14-3 in the regular season? People, where's he going? People are calling Sam Darnold an MVP candidate, and people were like, "Oh yeah, going to next offseason with Sam Darnold as quarterback, give him all the money he wants. Just let JJ
40 million. They're ready to shell out for him.
Yeah, no. You're about to give this guy $40 million a year, if not $50 million a season. No, he's horrible. Kevin O'Connell also got exposed last night for his in-game management, for going for it behind the 50-yard line when you knew the offensive line wasn't protecting Sam Darnold good. You still went for it.
Oh.
And guess what? You turned the ball over. They scooped it in for a score. I don't know if they actually did that, but I know they scored on that drive. Or was it on that when they went for it, Sam Darnold fumbled? I think that was it. Sam Darnold fumbled it.
Oh,
I think so. If I'm thinking about
yeah.
whatever, they went for it at the end of the first half,
Yep.
and the Rams scored. So they were up 24-3 at halftime. By that point, the game was done. Kevin O'Connell is an overrated coach. People were considered trading for him in this offseason. The only thing that Kevin O'Connell has proved to do well is that he can make average quarterbacks look good for the regular season. And then when it came to the postseason, Sam Darnold looked like the same quarterback that we saw on the Jets, seeing
ghosts out
ghosts.
there.
Seeing
There it
Ghost.
I had
JJ
a feeling.
McCarthy will be their starting quarterback next year. Sam Darnold will go to a team that is desperate for a quarterback. And God help that team that decides to give that man money.
Yep.
A lot of money. I'm not
I know.
done.
You're not done.
I'm not done. Well,
Okay.
now I'm giving my
Are you
props to the
done?
Rams. Rams are a scary team. Jared Verse,
Yeah.
you lost Aaron Donald last offseason. You got Jared Verse in the draft this offseason. That defensive line is fine. It is still elite. It's still elite. It's a scary player to have on your defensive line. And it also helps when your offense is elite. Matthew Stafford is elite. Puka Nacua is elite. Cooper Kupp still has a little bit left in the tank. Kyron Williams is elite. They have a good offense. That is a team I don't want to go against. That's an underrated team in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'm done
So
now.
it should be interesting. It should be interesting when they go into Philly next week. That should be a good game. I don't remember what I picked for my prediction, so someone have to remind me. But I had a feeling that the Rams would, it would be a competitive game. I had a feeling that the Rams might have a chance just because of Stafford with his experience, and I didn't like the way Sam Darnold looked last week. People say it was just like last game of the regular season, but I did not like the way he looked last week, and then combined with that with the Rams defensive line, it was just Rams got a really good defense, and they found the solution to stop him, and it was really not competitive for the whole first half, and it didn't get much better. So it was a surprising one, I guess, for a lot of people, since the Vikings had that incredible record, just goes down the drain now. But it was a good game, and we'll see how the Rams do next week. That should be interesting. But yeah, that's it.
I was surprised with how the game went last night. I had the Vikings, not really knowing that the Rams were that good. I haven't followed them honestly all season, so didn't really know what I was getting myself into there. But I don't think any of us expected what happened last night to be the way it was. At least we were thinking it was going to be close. But the Vikings got bullied last night, especially like through the first three quarters. And part of me thought that they were going to come back. I don't know. I had kind of a similar vibe to Super Bowl 51. I mean, scored a touchdown in the third quarter. They had time left and didn't quite work out for them. But props to the Rams because that was a great game. And moving into Philly, that could also be a good game. So we'll see what maybe the Rams can go on a deep run here. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if they might be able to beat Philly next week.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. Divisional predictions?
No.
Like rapid
right,
fire him? Rapid fire him?
Yeah, let's go through it.
All right, hold on. Let me get the lineup up here.
I have it. Don't worry.
Oh, okay, cool. What do we got?
Texans versus Chiefs, the first game Saturday at 4:30 p.m. I'm taking the Chiefs.
I think anyone is.
The Chiefs are not going to lose. Pat didn't play good in the regular season. He comes alive in the playoffs. The Texans are banged up. There is no reason why the Chiefs should lose this game. The Texans are injured, and the Chiefs are the Chiefs in the playoffs. The Chiefs, because they are also protected by plot armor, will move on to the AFC Championship.
Correct.
Yes.
You guys, we have a prediction?
Oh, you said
I mean,
rapid fire, so I thought
Yeah.
we were just going down the
You just gave
list.
the whole answer. I mean,
Chiefs.
we were just picking,
Yeah,
stick it.
I thought we were just doing that. Chiefs.
Chiefs, full confidence in them to win at home. I don't think the Texans really stand much of a chance. I think Pat Mahomes, like you said, will turn it up for the playoffs. This should just be another easy AFC Championship bound team. So
For the
that's where I
Chiefs, the
feel like.
playoffs. Sorry, the Chiefs. The playoffs really start at the AFC Championship. They should have no problem going to the AFC Championship. If they lose this game, I don't know, but they will not lose this game.
Great,
Chiefs.
but
Yeah, I'd love it, but that's going to be Josh
it'd be
Allen's
so
job.
good.
That's going to be Josh
But I
Allen's
don't-
job.
All right. Commanders later that night on Saturday, 8 p.m. Commanders versus Lions. Give me the Lions. Commanders had a great season. They had a great season. But the Lions have had too good of a season, and they are too good on both sides of the ball to lose this game, in my opinion. Give me the Lions. Jaden Daniels, a phenomenal rookie season. He will win Rookie of the Year. A great season for Jaden Daniels and the Commanders, but the Lions are, come on. They might go all the way, man.
I hope so. That'd be so awesome.
Yeah, I'm also taking the Lions in this one. I think it'll be closer than people think because the Lions are known to have struggled with mobile quarterbacks. So I think it'll be a closer game than we think. I do like the Lions in this one at home. I think they also should be in line to go all the way. I'm a little scared about Dan Campbell, because I don't know, they tend to go for it a little too much than they should, just like every other modern day coach. But that's beside the point. In this case, I like the Lions. I think they will move on here.
I also like the Lions. They're just too good, plain and simple. If they lose here, that's just going to be massively disappointing for them. I think that, I think they're going to make it to the Super Bowl for the NFC. I do. So I got the Lions here.
All right. And then for Sunday, we have Sunday at 3 p.m. Rams versus Eagles. I'm taking the Eagles in a boring and ugly game. It's going to be a boring game. There's not going to be a lot of scoring, but the Eagles, it's going to be the Eagles somehow. And like I said, a boring game. They'll pull out the win somehow. I just can't see it being an entertaining game.
Yeah, you're probably right. I don't know. I don't feel like there's going to be any upsets this week, but you know what? I like the way the Rams are playing, so it makes me tough to pick against them, but I do like the Eagles at home. So I don't know. Not too much reason for that one. That's where I'm at right now.
Honestly,
wrote down Rams.
No, I'm gonna change mine to the Rams because what happened with that Eagles fan? Did you see that on Twitter? That Eagles fan? No, I want the Rams to win. I want the Rams to win.
What happened with the Eagles fan?
Let's all flip. Rams.
What happened with this Eagles fan? I'm not too.
All right, come on.
Too know.
We won't talk. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it after. But it was bad.
I'm not on Twitter, so I don't know.
It's fine. We'll talk about it. It was not good though. It was not good. That was horrible.
Okay.
I want the Eagles to lose because AJ Brown also might throw a fit and he might come to the Patriots. So who knows?
Look, if it
give me the
has to
Rams.
do with an Eagles fan and something bad, this dude probably did some crazy things.
Well, it's just what he said.
Oh boy, it's Philly. They could have said anything. Anyways,
no, that's classic Philly fans, but no.
Oh yeah, I know for sure.
Yeah.
It just made me want to pick against them. Rams, give me the Rams.
All right,
I'm changing my pick.
At first, I had Rams written down, but the Eagles, they're at home.
Bro,
I like the Eagles. Different. I'm sorry. Look, I don't know what this dude said, so that has nothing to do with this pick. I just don't see a way that the Eagles lose to the Rams. I think that it'll be a great game. Don't get me wrong; it might come down in the final few minutes, but Eagles at home.
All right, and then Sunday at 6:30, Ravens versus Bills. I want you to go first, Brett.
Best game.
I'll go last.
All right.
Go ahead.
Who's at home? Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Buffalo's at home. Okay.
Yeah, Buffalo.
Oh, this is gonna be such a good matchup. It's gonna be a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
game,
you got the Bills powerhouse passing versus the Ravens powerhouse running. To me, passing beats running. Give me the Buffalo Bills right now. Give me the Buffalo Bills to win this one. They're going to go take on the Chiefs, and they're going to beat the Chiefs, and they're going to go to the Super Bowl.
Hey,
that's what's going to happen.
Whoa, we're jumping too far in the future here.
I don't care. I've been saying this since the middle of the season. Bills are going to win the AFC, but we'll worry about that when we get there.
Okay.
Bills.
Okay. Is that it?
That is it. Bills.
Okay. I'm taking the Ravens here.
Yeah!
I'm going to be different. Okay? I'm going to be different. And this should be a really good game. I'm actually very excited for this one. I don't know if it's really any particular reason. I just love the way they're playing right now with Lamar and Derrick Henry. The Bills, I feel like they've had a tough time stopping the run. I feel like even the Patriots would run on that team. So I don't know. I don't like that for them. The defense hasn't been great by any means.
They've been
especially late in the regular season. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't love their chances. I mean,
and then the Ravens defense has been inconsistent too. So there's.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't mean I don't love their chances. I mean, they easily have a good chance to win. But something's telling me the Ravens here, so I'm gonna go with that. I'll be different. All right, Ravens is the pick.
Ravens versus Bills. Give me the Ravens!
All right.
Come on! Lamar, and Derrick Henry. 1 second.
Get the clip now.
Uh-oh.
We're gonna play this next week. Next Monday. Oh,
Give
dear.
me Lamar Jackson!
That is crazy. What the hell is wrong with you?
Give me Lamar
is
Jackson.
happening?
All right, you're doing too. This is
Him
just
and
ugh.
Derrick Henry are too electric. I want to see a rematch of the Ravens and Chiefs in the AFC Championship game.
Come on, Brett.
Lamar
Fly with
will
us, come
also
on.
win MVP. Give me
All right,
the Ravens.
your
You don't
take
want the Bills.
is-
Come on. You
Give
don't
me
want
the
it.
Ravens.
I don't want the
Come
Bills, but they're
on!
going. No, this is
Come
the
on.
1 year.
The
The 1 year
Ravens,
I'm
do it.
cheering for the Bills to win the AFC.
The Ravens.
do it.
Gee, hold on. Let me put it this way. Anybody
Ravens.
who beats Mahomes is who I'm cheering for. Whoever wins this game is who I'm
You cheer
cheering
for the
for. all
Lions.
right?
Ravens.
I just feel strongly in the Bills. I do. I've been saying this for weeks.
Who has ever said
Ravens.
they feel strongly in the Bills?
Okay.
It's
Look,
like how I felt with the Broncos last week.
and that's why we're gonna get the clip now.
Oh, so
We saw you pull out your
We're
ugly
clip
Ravens jersey.
W.
Yeah,
Your
'cause the
ugly
Ravens are gonna win.
jersey.
Fly,
You're
Ravens,
nasty for
fly.
even owning. You're
Fly,
disgusting for
Ravens,
even
fly.
owning that. What is
Right, he
wrong
got
with
it for
you?
the take.
What do you
That's
mean?
it.
It's
You're
Lamar
disgusting
Jackson.
for even owning that.
For owning two-time MVP Lamar Jackson?
For owning a Ravens jersey. That's like me owning my Mets jersey. I have a
Two-time
Mets
MVP
hat.
Lamar Jackson?
I have a Mets hat and a Mets jersey.
I
It's the
love
same
Lamar.
thing.
It's also disgusting.
I
Then,
love
if you're
Lamar.
gonna play
Okay,
that
you
game.
can I like Lamar too, but I'm not gonna go here and buy a Baltimore Ravens jersey.
I have a bunch of jerseys.
So do I. I have a Mariners jersey, but you don't see me out here going. That's like me. That's like me as a Red Sox fan going out there and buying like an Orioles jersey.
Right,
Like
if
it's
it
just
was,
not gonna happen.
If it
It's
was
just
a
not gonna
prediction, you would
happen.
wear it. You would bring it out and be like,
Well,
"Here
the
it is."
Ravens
That was
aren't
the take.
the Ravens
you come
aren't
at
the
me-
Patriots' rivals anymore.
And the Orioles are barely rivals either. It's the
So what
same
does it
thing.
They're in
matter?
the same division though.
But I don't see them as rivals. It's just not. It's just they play
I
each
do.
other.
They're in the same division as us.
Okay, fine. Then here, let me put it this way.
We're a
It's
fun
like
team,
me buying like a Tigers jersey. Because back in
What's
the day,
wrong
the
with
Red
me
Sox.
being a Lamar fan?
Nothing. There's nothing.
I
Lamar's
wrong.
bought his jersey. Give me the
that's
That's
Ravens.
the guys people argue with.
We're going off topic.
I have a Trevor Lawrence.
Ravens.
I have a Trevor Lawrence jersey, but you don't see me. I'm not out here
Ravens.
flexing my Trevor
We're
Lawrence
moving
jersey.
on.
It's not
We're
gonna
moving on.
It's not gonna
We're
I'm so
moving on.
fucking weird.
We're moving
That's
on.
going so hard as Mike.
We're
is
moving
taking out.
on.
All right,
Thoughts
look,
on the
final
college football
talk.
playoffs.
Final say.
No.
Final say.
No.
You
Thoughts,
need to put that
thoughts,
jersey away.
Thoughts,
You need to put
thoughts,
that jersey away.
Thoughts on the college
Stop
football
him, Brett.
playoffs. Thoughts on the college football playoffs.
Give me. Ready for this? Ohio
Give me.
State University, go Buckeyes.
Oh wait, who did we pick for our quarterfinals or semi?
I had Notre Dame.
We didn't. I don't think we did predictions, did we?
No, we did.
Oh,
I picked
I picked Penn State and
I picked Penn
Ohio
State
State.
and OHOIO.
I can't believe I
Also-
said go Buckeyes out loud, but I did. So
You said it. It's out there now. You can't take it back.
Well, Penn State sold though, dude.
they
but-
did. They had it.
bro.
They really
A
did.
tweet came out of film from Abdul Carter. He was on one shoulder, and it was like he was getting into the backfield with ease. On one shoulder. One shoulder. It's insane. Like, it's insane. We need him. We need him. We need him. I don't like even though Penn State lost, he was a monster in that game on one shoulder. And now I guess natty predictions, Notre Dame or Ohio State.
I'll take the lead.
Okay.
OH.
Yeah! Give me Ohio State.
Now hold on. I hate Ohio State with every little
Yeah.
bit of my being. I'm a
I
Clemson
don't really
fan.
care.
I'm a Clemson fan, and I can't stand Ohio State.
I don't really care either way.
The
I
only
think you should
reason
root against Ohio State for Brett.
Ohio State, I needed Ohio State to beat Michigan was because my RA likes Michigan, and I couldn't stand for that. But give me Ohio State here.
Yeah,
they're- They're gonna save Ryan Day's job, and I'm sorry, it's just not Notre Dame's year. They had a miracle run. It's gonna end Monday night. Ohio State.
All right. Yeah, I agree. I think Ohio State. I think it will
Yep.
come down to quarterback play, and I think the play between Will Howard and Riley Leonard, they're both average quarterbacks. They're not good, but I think Will Howard has a slight edge because I think Riley Leonard is butt juice. Will Howard at least has more of an edge because he has more receivers to throw to and has more
Yeah,
targets.
That's true.
So I will give And of course, Ohio State has a good defense, but they both have good defenses. I'll give Ohio State the slight edge because of that.
Yeah, I'm also kind of in the same spot as you guys. I feel like their talent's just gonna win out in this situation. Notre Dame win last
They got lucky. They got
in the
lucky.
Capital One Orange Bowl was incredibly entertaining. I would say that was a really good
They got
game to
lucky.
watch.
They got
But
lucky.
it was a lucky game. That is what it is. But hopefully we hope for a good game. At least something entertaining to watch. Who knows?
Yeah.
A lot of these end up in blowouts, but I'm taking Ohio State. So there we are.
So Ohio State. There it is. Monday night, 7:30, ABC, I believe, or ESPN. New Orleans.
Right, you should have that one. It's on Prime.
I swear, if they put the national championship on a streaming
They should put
service,
it on.
No,
yeah,
there's
they should put it
no
on Prime
way.
for you.
There's no
I know
way.
they won't. I'm saying if they ever choose to do that, ESPN will be hearing from me personally.
There's no way.
That could happen, like, some years down the line.
I will go to wherever their stupid headquarters are and be like, you people need to stop it. That's what I'm going to tell them. They need
And
to
they'll
stop
say
it.
no, and then say security.
And then I will say, you're going to have to drag me out of here before I leave. And then I'm going to handcuff myself to a pole.
And then
Oh.
they will. Then they will.
I'm going to pull a Dave Portnoy
No,
and
don't be
handcuff
one of those
myself
guys.
inside ESPN headquarters.
Don't be that guy, Brett.
Look, Portnoy's him. That's
Bill
all it is.
O'Brien, you know the Greg Hill show, the morning show?
I do. Yeah, he
Um,
called it.
Bill O'Brien called into the show to talk to Mike Vrabel. He gave the line, first time caller, long time listener. Dude, honestly,
I listened to
like,
the call.
Huh?
It was not. I listened to the call. It just sounded so forced.
oh really?
In my opinion, it did
First
not
time
sound.
caller.
He goes first time caller, long
First
time
time
listener, and
listener.
they just started yapping about Boston College for a minute. And
Yeah.
then Mike Vrabel just started talking about how good of a job he's doing at BC, which really isn't even true. So
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, so yeah, no other news as of right now.
Yeah.
So that's everything we got today, and wow, our third episode cut down
We
our
did good
last
today.
episode by 30 minutes, guys.
Look at us go. Come on.
Yeah,
Give it
yeah,
up.
no, round
Give it
of
up for us.
applause. Round of applause. We made it to it's 1 hour and 7 minutes. I don't even think I'll cut this down at all. I'll just upload this. Good job, guys.
let's go.
Look at that.
Good job, guys. But yeah, this was a great episode. Of course. Thank you both for
Of course.
doing this. It's our last week of break. We'll have our next episode Thursday.
Wednesday, Thursday. We'll figure it out.
Well,
Figure it out. It's
Wednesday's
Wednesday
tomorrow.
or Thursday.
We'll do-
it is today. Okay, Thursday.
We'll do
Well,
Thursday.
Probably a Thursday.
We'll do
Thursday.
Thursday. Because is there anything happening on Thursday? Like, is there
It
college
might
football?
be like this.
No,
No, the only college football
What is
Monday,
happening?
Monday night.
Okay.
So we'll be back.
If there's any news, literally. We'll see if there's
I
any
will
news.
say this will be our last virtual episode for the
No-
foreseeable
well,
future.
No, Thursday would.
Well, if
No,
you do it.
I meant to say Thursday.
Thursday
Thursday
would
will be our last virtual episode.
will most likely be our last
Yes,
virtual
all
one.
right, that's true.
I guess
Yeah, I think
unless
we're good.
unless we get to school and we can't use the studio yet.
I'm sure we can work it out.
Well, we still have to figure out like how we're gonna get the graphics and everything too in
Yeah.
the studio. So
Yeah.
we're probably gonna
Well,
So honestly, the first like
need some
next week
assistance.
might be virtual.
Yeah, probably.
It might have to be next week might have to be virtual as well. But but who knows? It could still be in the studio. But again, we'll probably have to all go, but we can talk about that after.
I'll talk about that later.
Yeah, episode 3 in the books. For again, people for some reason, if they watch this all the way through, it's a lot shorter of an episode. We're gonna probably try and keep it.
More manageable.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
probably gonna try and keep it around an hour. I would say. Might need to cut down more time on the topics at least. We did do some yapping, but it was not nearly as bad as last episode. And we'll probably try and keep it from an hour to an hour and 15 minutes at most. But if you watched this whole episode, thank you. We're probably gonna plan on the next episode to be on Thursday. It will be uploaded. This will probably be uploaded at around like 3 p.m. Eastern time. And then it'll probably be the same thing for Thursday. So thank you guys for tuning in. There'll probably be some videos coming out later and as the days go on. Have a wonderful day, and we'll be back Thursday for episode 4 of the DuckBoats podcast. We're going to be 4 episodes through. We're doing it, guys. All right.
Go.
Signing off. Thank you, guys.